here for another spirit blog, and I've missed you guys greatly. I have been kind of MIA for a little bit. I've had a couple health issues, and then we had a recent scare with Maxie, our fur baby, who's in recovery this week and doing well. Today's topic is true love and what love looks like to the collective. I get a lot of questions on my recent TikTok live feeds about why am I alone? Am I meant to be alone? Why can't I find someone? And it got me to thinking I really need to do a spirit blog on this because there's so many people around the world right now feeling completely alone, don't understand why. I want to help you better understand why this is happening in your life so that you can grasp it, absorb it, and then use that information to elevate out of that type of learning and that type of situation. So our introduction was a little bit of a sneak peek into a wedding Justin and I recently attended, which was his nephew's. And I have to give a quick shout out to him. He is such a bright, young, mature man who knows what he has in his life, and he values and takes very good care of it. So his bride is so very blessed. But I equally feel he is blessed as well because she's so super awesome and so cool to be around, so chill. I can't explain it. You just want to be in her presence. Actually, you want to be in both of their presence because the combination of them is such a powerhouse positive energy that even in my worst day, they picked me up and made me feel better. So I definitely have to give a shout out to both of them. So, love. Such a broad topic, right? Because love looks very different to so many people, but I feel like it gets categorized so generally that people just feel like they have to attain a certain perspective of it and work their way through their life to obtain it. And I'm here to say that love shouldn't be looking like this. And I hope by this video you can better find your way through this concept and what love actually looks like for you. Because I feel like a lot of people around the world feel like they have to be with someone. And that's not necessarily true, even though it is in your soul contract to be with someone, because no one on earth is meant to be alone. But what does that look like? Like being alone and being in love. Why can't it be with certain people like your best friend or your mom or your sister? A lot of people assume it's with a sexual partner at all times. And that's where I think a lot of the collective is going wrong. But I am here to help you with the true love path and finding your way through that. But I also want to help you understand what love truly means in heaven and how you can bring that frequency here to earth in your life. So to answer these questions, we have to start at the beginning. And this is going to be really hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around. So I'm going to break it down into a kindergarten aspect. This way you can grasp it and fully understand it. Because I don't want to come in like a doctor and throw all these metaphysical mumbo jumbos at you to the point you're completely confused and you don't even know how to use the concept. When you are in heaven, you choose your parents based off of mainly their personality and what they're going to be like when they come to earth. You also look at past lives that you may have had with them or past lives you may have not have had with them. This all gets calculated into the soul's equivalent of who they are meant to be on earth. All of this is taken into account. Past lives, who they are in heaven, what are they trying to learn in the life they're about to take on. And when a soul decides to be a child of that parent, they're considering all the aspects, good and bad. And when you decide to make a soul contract with the parents you choose, you are taking on that learning and you fully understand what that involves. And there's no backing out once you choose. Unless you're simply coming in to learn how to be conceived and the conception of being birthed and then leaving. And this tends to be miscarriages, but that's a whole nother topic. As a soul, you tend to look at the personality of the mother and father in correspondence, coming together as a unity. Polarization, unified thought concepts. Do they balance? Do they harmonize? And if they don't, why is that? All of this creates a type of programming when coming into birth. And I'm getting to that. A soul wants to learn particulars. Like the last video I did, I talked about the school of earth and how the topic in your life could be trust or worthiness or love. And in that topic or subject within the school of earth, there are modules or lessons, situations, people, things to be learned in the subject or topic. Again, love, worthiness, or trust. And when a soul decides to choose a parent, they're looking at the lessons that each parent is going to be enduring, which then that soul will tend to take on in some form or fashion. This is where we get similar souls or similar people in family bloodlines. They tend to take on the concept of that learning in some sort of way, because that family could be learning something particular. And in the soul contracts, you tend to understand that, okay, this family is learning about deceit and secrets and lies. I want to see what that looks like, so I'm going to join that family bloodline. And then there's a parent and another parent that decides to do that learning with you. And you do it as a little mini collective. This is your soul group. This is who comes in with you and learns together as a collective small group. When a soul comes in and you all are learning something particular, but also something different. So let me kind of explain that. Let's say your mother is learning from confidence and she lacks it. And the father is learning from narcissism and how not to be so mean. This duo tends not to do well together. So it's very challenging, but some souls like a challenge, so they take that kind of learning on. So, getting into the programming. So you have a narcissist and a lacking of self-love. And these two coming together can be volatile. It can be very challenging, especially for a child deciding to come in and learn from it. I know it feels like I'm kind of rambling on the topic, but I need to break it down into the nitty-gritties so that you can better wrap your head around why a soul would take on such challenges. And to be honest, why would you even come to Earth in the first place if you didn't challenge yourself? It is the Harvard of all realms of learning. It's so low frequency and heavy here that you really get your learning in. It's deciding to go to medical school even though you feel like you might fail. But you decide, I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to go forward and I'm going to try this and see where it takes me. Earth is the same way. When you decide on your soul contract with your parents and there's this whole dynamic going on, you as the child are taking a risk on those parents due to their free will of learning. A child can become programmed in that learning, which then brings on trauma and sometimes even deep trauma. Now, the narcissist in our story and the lack of self-love from the mother is teaching this child certain things. And this child's free will decide where it goes in life. Will it be a narcissist or will it lack love or both? The programming there is the narcissist could be shushing or controlling that soul who's here to learn and growing up in that environment. And this could be a soul that's outgoing and loves to chit chat and get to know people, but at home it's getting shushed and quieted and controlled. So then that trauma keeps building and building. And then into adult life, this person could start to apologize even for things that this person never even did to anybody. They just feel so much guilt and lack of love and felt controlled as a child that they allow that energy to come into their adult life and do exactly what it did to them when they were a child. This is programming at its core. So then what happens to the child? It grows up, it has this trauma attached to it, and it looks for frequencies that have the same resonance as it had learned. So it will seek out unknowingly people that are narcissistic, controlling, or lack self-love. This could even look like alcoholism, drug abuse, or physical or mental abuse. This is where the deep learning happens. And when the soul has a free will to understand there's trauma created into the adult life and now needs to be healed and overcome, or they sink even deeper and get even deeper into that trauma with the person they're resonating with. It's all about your frequency. I'm going to use a color chart for this next phase. As you can see, you are the gray box, and on the other side are all these colors, which are levels of frequency. You are at a particular color frequency right now. I'm using the color as an example. The frequency is what you want to pay close attention to. The color just shows you what a frequency kind of looks like in the physical, even though you can't see it in the metaphysical. The colors represent levels of learning and resonance frequency. So for you to move on up, you must work your frequency up. So the question is, how do you do this? How do you get to level red? I mean, there's so many colors to choose from. So it definitely goes hand in hand with which color you feel most drawn to. If you are gray and you are lacking self-love and you feel controlled in your life, even from people like your friends, your boss, your parents, your siblings, you will resonate with the color gray. Now, if you suddenly decide, I don't want to be controlled anymore, I want to have my own voice, you suddenly find your color changes to blue, which means your level of frequency just moved up. Now, how do we get to purple? Again, looking at your trauma, starting to heal, and understand that you deserve more. You don't deserve to be taunted, controlled, talked down to, and made fun of, and you don't deserve emotional or physical abuse. That person is going to stay at the color gray until they themselves realize they need to move up. They need to adjust their frequency to get better things in life. Now it's up to you to use your free will to move up into the colors. This is completely up to your free will, but you are the only one that can do it. No one in your life can make you move in frequency. You must do this yourself. So when you keep asking the question, why am I alone? Or why doesn't anybody love me? You must always first look at the frequency and what it's pulling towards you, because your frequency is like a magnet. You're going to pull in what you're vibrating at. Are you vibrating at self-trust issues? Are you vibrating at self-sabotage? Are you vibrating at controlling others? Are you vibrating at lying? Are you vibrating at authenticity and love and being true to yourself and telling the truth and having confidence? There's all different spectrums of frequency. What are you vibrating at? You have to take a close look at your life and see what exactly is going on and why can't you pull certain things in. So I know this is a lot to take in, and I know it's not as easy as snapping your finger, but it's a starting point, especially for those of you who are listening who have ADHD and find just daily tasks a challenge. Take it day by day. Seek out the healing modules that you need, journaling your feelings and your thoughts, and yeah, take that journey of self discovery with trauma. Dig deep into your childhood and see where the roots lie in the tree of your trauma. I do this in my soul retreat with the attendees that come and attend the retreat. We dig deep, we find the root, and we heal it from the very beginning growth spectrum. This means if an attendee was sexually assaulted and they have trouble remembering, it's taking them back into the memory of when it happened and resurfacing those fragments and putting it together like a puzzle piece, bringing a huge picture together to see what exactly took place and how can we heal from it. Because you can't heal from a broken puzzle and you can't heal from a broken glass vase. You have to slowly glue it back together. And when you glue it back together, even though it's fragmented and it looks distorted, it still has character, it still has truth, it still has authenticity, it still has an image to be seen. And you deserve to be seen. So it starts with the root of your trauma and why your frequency is vibrating at the level it's at. I do talk from experience. I had an attendee who was sexually assaulted. And I am so proud of her progress and where she has brought herself in her life and how she went from a specific low frequency coming into the retreat and leaving with a much higher one, having more self-confidence, having more empowerment, having her own authentic voice come back to her because it was taken from her the night it happened, when she was a child and no one came to her rescue. She was able to pull herself out of that memory and give that soul back his learning and his aggression against her. He's on the other side, so we were able to talk to him. And he kept apologizing because he himself wanted to move on. But he knew he couldn't until she was able to heal in some way from what he did, because his trauma created that night. His trauma brought him to that learning where he ended up doing what he did. People don't just outwardly become aggressively mean. It stems from somewhere, whether they remember it or not. It's still under the surface and it's still dormant until something triggers it and it comes out. And sometimes it doesn't come out gracefully. Sometimes it comes out very painfully, and mostly towards others, because they tend to blame others, but they blame the wrong people. They don't look at their trauma and who first created that programming. They take it out on anybody who will allow them to do it. So the next time you get a troll or someone bashing or making fun of you or just starting a fight on social media, it's stemming from somewhere. I'll give you an example. One of my videos on TikTok recently went viral, and it was showing up on other social medias that I'm not even a part of. And somebody tagged me in one of the posts on one of these other social media. And from what I gather, this platform is supposed to be politically empowering, I thought, oh wow, this is so cool that my video made it onto this platform with all these empowered people who are just uplifting and really want to see change happen in our reality. It was supposed to be a politically supported, open minded community. And when I went to go check on the tag for this platform and see kind of what were people were talking about my video, their main focus was my eyebrows and making fun of me for my eyebrows. And I sat back and thought, wow, talk about trauma trigger. They were completely triggered by my physical appearance, not what I was saying or teaching or informing about. Their main concern was my eyebrows. So I kind of had a chuckle. I thought, wow, I was going to join this platform, but I don't feel like anyone on this platform is ready for what I have to bring to the table. So I ended up not joining. And I really was hoping that this particular platform was evolving and a supportive community. But all I saw was a lot of emotional bullying. And that is not something I want to be a part of because a lot of those people are not vibrating at my frequency. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you are vibrating a particular frequency and others around you are not vibrating at that frequency, you can't really take it personal because it's all about what they're learning, how they're learning it, how they're perceiving it, because they're not going to see the same way you do. I get this a lot with people saying, I really want my loved ones to hear what you're saying, but they're just not open. But I keep trying to tell them and tell them stuff you're saying. And I usually say, don't do that. They have to be able to vibrate at what I'm saying, or they're not going to get it. You cannot feed a baby steak. It's just not going to happen. So keep on your frequency and what you're learning and allow others to observe how that learning is changing your frequency. And if they want to change their frequency, they'll ask you, what what are you doing? How It's like when somebody loses a lot of weight, you get a ton of people going, what did you do? How'd you lose all that weight? Do you see? It's the same thing with your frequency. They see you more happy. They see you bringing in different vibrational energies, like people and situations that are more positive. Let's say you were a drug addict and all of a sudden you're sober now and you're happy and you met somebody who now vibrates at your new vibration and they're loving and they're caring towards you. They ask you, wow, I'm so proud of everything you've done in your life. That's because I worked at my frequency. But you can only adjust it if you don't fight back onto it. I get some people in readings where I'll just keep talking and trying to explain what their guides are showing me, and they keep repeating the same phrases over and over again. That means they're not listening. That means they're not hearing. And if they're not hearing or listening at the same time, there's no getting through that frequency. They have to understand that no matter what I say to them, their frequency is not allowing me to get through. And that's the same with people in your life and people that you argue with on social media. Nothing you say is going to suddenly change their frequency. Unless it's some kind of miracle and you suddenly change their point of view, then kudos to you. And you've had a lot of positive spirit guides on your end helping you push past that frequency and that wall. And I have done that in the past where somebody was a skeptic and came to a reading and came up to me after the reading and was just saying, wow, I came into this a skeptic and you opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. That's a miracle right there, especially since they were open-minded enough to come and listen. I get people at group readings sometimes where they'll just sit there just pouting, angry, mad. And I know it's not me because that's a buildup of years of things that happened in their life that they're spewing about in the middle of a group reading. And usually this is an attention seeker. This is to get my attention so that they can fight or argue with me because that's what they're used to. But I usually don't pay any mind to that, to those kind of frequencies. I let them be. And if they're ready to listen to their loved one who came to see them, then that's up to them. That's their free will. I can't make them listen because I'm taking away their free will. So it goes hand in hand with you guys. You cannot force somebody to see your point of view unless they're open-minded enough to adjust that frequency. If they're not, you're wasting your time. You can try. By all means, you can try. And ask your guides to help you raise their frequency and go for it. That's what I say, go for it. This is what I do every day. Whether they're open-minded or not, I still get my messages out. I still let the guides push through those frequencies, and who resonates, great. Who doesn't, maybe next time. Maybe another time. They'll find me and they'll cross my path and they'll listen. But it's really up to them, their guides, and their soul contract of learning. You have the potential. No one is holding you back. Only you can do that to yourself. You can't change the people around you. You can only change yourself and adjust your frequency like a radio station. I feel like most people in this world, the radio's on, but nothing's playing. The static is there, there's potential, but they struggle to play the music, their own internal frequency song. And if you're watching this video, you definitely are open-minded enough to see that you have that potential and you can go after it any way you want. So Maria, my guide, just chimed in and said, let's give them some things they can work on. And she's going to give me the list. So definitely one is meditation. She says meditation definitely raises your frequency. Listening to particular intentional meditations, she's saying, will help. She says, if you want to work on your third eye of opening up to communication on the other side, do a third eye chakra meditation. And you can simply just go to YouTube and look these things up. They're free. You don't have to buy anything or pay for anything. I have a meditation actually where you can meet your spirit guide. It's on my website, moonair.com. On the very first page, you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see a yellow banner. Fill it out with your name and email, and the meditation will get sent to you. The other thing is journaling, like I mentioned before. I have a ton of journals here and over here and up there somewhere. I have journals everywhere. I journal a lot, especially when I'm meditating, because each time I have a dream, vision, or meditation, I jot it down. And I can give you an example. I jot them down. So this is one of my favorites. This is when I talk to Jesus. His correspondences with me and back and forth are in here. And let's see. I'm showing you proof. I'm showing you proof. So this is visions and notes. I don't know what this is. Some kind of letter, I think. And yeah, I don't think I finished it out yet because I'm still working on it. Let me see what else. Is this one? There's another one. And it looks like there is something from Eden. Looks like I put something she made for me. And yeah, like, and the funny thing is I journal every single reading I do at the shop. I have journals in my bookcase at the shop, and Every single reading I've done is in those journals. You could literally write a book on my readings and what came forward from their loved ones. It's remarkable. I tend to keep those on hand because I feel they're going to mean something someday. I don't know. I just was told to journal every reading, so I don't know where that's going to go. Maybe someday, I don't know, they'll be passed down and shared. I don't know, but I love journaling, as you can see, and I feel like journaling what you're going through, what you're thinking, what your emotions are, is going to let you see on paper what's happening in your life. And this is not a journal. This should not be a tennis match of thoughts going back and forth, ping, 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 ping. It needs to go somewhere, or you're going to get headaches. You're going to get overly tired. You're going to overeat. You're going to be exhausted. It's got to go somewhere. You've got to get these thoughts out, put it on paper so it's going somewhere. And when you intentionally write it down, it is going somewhere. It's going to your guides. It's going to your loved ones. It's going to your angels. It's going to God. It's going to Jesus, whoever you resonate with in the divine light of heaven. And it's going out into the universe and into the cosmos to be listened to be heard. So be intentional with your writings and see that what you're writing can change and be adjusted with your frequency. Do you remember back in the day when Earth didn't really know anything about crystals too much? I mean, yeah, maybe they were in a museum here or there, or maybe, you found a couple while going on a walk or something. It wasn't like a huge thing. And all of a sudden, it became a huge thing. Everybody and their mother knows about crystals now. Earth raised its frequency, and the crystals allowed that frequency to be heard, seen, and felt. So if Earth was able to raise its frequency and the crystals knew that the frequency was ready to be seen and heard and felt, they surfaced themselves up by using their frequency sound to go out into the universe, out into the world, out into Earth, and then they were finally seen. And then there was a resonance of, ooh, I want this thing that I just found in the ground. Ooh, I wonder what we can do with this. I wonder what it does. This is so neat. And then humans as a collective went on this grand adventure of learning about crystals and what they can do for their lives. So if Earth can raise its frequency and crystals can raise its frequency, and you are made of the same molecules and particles and stardust, then what do you think your potential is in this world? Where can your frequency take you to be seen, felt, and heard? Maria just used a really cool analogy that I want to get into. She basically had me on the phone. I could hear myself saying, wait, what? I can't hear you. What? Can you speak up? What? I can't hear you. Oh, now I can hear you. She said, describe it like that. You're on the phone, and the person in your life that you want to be near you, and this can go with people that are in your life now. I can't hear you. What? Can you speak up? They're not hearing you. They're not seeing you at their frequency, at their vibration. Oh, I can hear you now. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's better. Because they raise their frequency. Such a great analogy, and I hope that helps a little bit better than the color analogy maybe. All these analogies put together all come to the same resolution of, do you want to be seen? Do you want to be heard at your frequency? And if you're not being heard or seen, then it's clearing up the static to be heard and seen by raising your frequency and doing things to allow that to happen. And it's pretty simple. It's being with yourself, being with your thoughts, having a place for those thoughts to go, and then allowing the assistance of Earth's vibrational attendees to help you along the way, the little crystal aids. And I'm going to show you one of my favorites. Where is he? Always up there. I saw him at a wholesaler distribution center that I work with for my crystals for my shop, and he just spoke to me. He is my little buddy. I feel him, I hear him, and I know a lot of you can't hear crystals, can't correspond with them like I can. That's just part of my gifts. But your crystals call to you. And yeah, they could be sparkly and blingy and they're calling to you because they're sparkly and blingy, or they're just plain Jane and they're calling to you. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they're calling to you, you're connecting with them in some way, and they're telling you, I'm to be part of your life. Another example, you go to a thrift store and you see like one or two items that just call to you. Those items are to be part of your environment of enjoyment. She's an example. I got her from a thrift store. I got this off of Etsy. This holds up my books. I saw her, I resonated with her, and I brought her into my environment, and I enjoy her. I might not be learning from her, but I definitely enjoy how she makes my books look. I really don't know where I'd be had I not listened to myself and brought him home. He's helped me through some dream visions when he was next to my bed. He's helped me through a lot of stuff and gave me insight. So if you think about all the things that you could have taken that you were drawn to or resonated with, think where you could be right now had you listened to yourself and took those options, especially with people. Now, I know there's a lot of you on here that are really turned off by people right now. You may have been put through the ringer and you're just like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not taking a risk. And that's okay. That's what you're learning at. But you also have to understand that certain people that come around you are part of your soul contract, and maybe that one person might change your mind and show you something different or present something different that you didn't see because you were so turned off and didn't want to take a chance. Fear is dark controlling you. And if you allow dark to control you, you're not learning what you came here to learn. So sometimes you just have to take a risk and see where it takes you. Let's say all these people are men that I dated before Justin. Not great. Lied, cheated, just wasn't good for me. And then Justin came along. And yes, me and Justin have had our challenges. It's been 11 years. We've seen it all. We've grown. But he never cheated on me like these. So after this last one, my own soul learning was like, hey, I deserve better. This shouldn't be happening to me. I'm a highly elevated soul. I need to be pulling in highly elevated energy. That was Justin. Now, Justin has told me he doesn't deserve me. He feels I'm not good enough for him. He's outwardly said this throughout our dating, and he acted as such. His frequency made him feel like he wasn't worth love or real love, and didn't really know what that looked like until I came along. His frequency adjusted and changed along the way. So then what he was doing in the beginning, he now no longer does. So that frequency was allowed to be changed. Now, this is where this comes in. Do you meet someone and work with them and show them that you deserve love, but they also do too? And if they don't change, do you move on? And then you chance pulling in another one just like them, just like the one before them, just a different costume. Or do you finally work on your trauma and you pull in a different kind of energy to learn from, and they learn from you? Yeah, they might not be the best frequency, but at least they're not this person or this person. You're slowly raising your vibration along with them. And it's a growth spurt of progress, of learning. That's the lesson, is to grow in love and understand what that looks like for you. Are you done repeating? This was 5th grade. Now you're moving to 6th grade. Same kind of similar energy, but a lot better to learn from. That's kind of how you want to look at it. Another thing that Maria showed me was therapy. Yes, it is very hard to choose a therapist or someone that can just listen to you, because sometimes they don't resonate with you or they don't see your point of view or your perspective. And they may not be authentic and they just are pretending just to get through the session. So you really kind of have to go with what is calling to you. If someone is calling to you, see what that is about. Maybe you're meant to learn or teach them something and it just doesn't work out. And then the next person you do resonate with and it does work out. So try not to push away certain things and people because you may be there in their soul contract to teach them something. Maybe a therapist is just not getting it and just going through the routine of the day, and you say something in the session that kind of perks them up, and they see their life in a different perspective now. So if you're holding yourself back, like I said, dark is controlling that. And you're just going to start repeating things that you don't necessarily need to. And your soul is just going to go back to heaven and go, oh, crap, I should have just did it. I should have just experienced that person because I see now I was supposed to teach them this and then I was supposed to leave and not go back. And I see that now and I should have did that. And now they're, I owe them one. Like, it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? Therapy is good when you resonate with someone. So it might be a little bit of a journey. It might be going through a couple therapists like you do a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and it's taking a chance on someone, but maybe that chance is there for a reason, and maybe it's not meant to last. Maybe they were meant to show you something particular in 1 or 2 sessions, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I don't need to keep coming here. Okay, so just give yourself a chance to heal, and especially if journaling isn't getting you anywhere, and you really do need to talk to someone, and friends are too close to see a perspective, and you need someone from the outside to kind of help you, this is where you need to go, especially if they specialize in trauma like we do at the Soul Retreat. I specialize in it, and I have a ton of aids that help me with what I'm meant to do with that journey. I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of empowerment, and a lot of frequency adjustments. I love seeing it. It's amazing. So before I continue to ramble on, and I'm pretty sure you get the message and what Maria's trying to show you and what I'm trying to convey to you in this video. And I don't want to push out any more information. So if you have any questions and concerns, again, go to the comment section and leave your comments. I might do another video or 2 on this and continue this video on into more information based off of things you guys are saying in the comment section. That's fine with me. That's perfect. I don't mind doing that. That's awesome. Turn your radio on, experience life, because Earth is a particular grand experiment. It is a concept of different things you don't get on other realms and planets. Like my planet, I'm all about the food. When I come to Earth, I dive deep into the food. Like, you're not going to find pizza and hamburgers on other realms like you do here. My realm does not have it. I know a lot of other realms do not have it. So that's just one experience. So when it comes to dating, you get the same concept. You look at the menu, you see what you like, you see what works, and you pick and choose and order and purchase what you want. It's pretty much exactly like that. It's picking from the menu of your soul contract exactly what you want and experiencing the taste buds of life, in a sense. So take a couple risks. See where things, don't take things so seriously. See where it takes you. Experience while you can, because you came here to experience and you don't want to waste your life not understanding the lessons you came here to learn. So I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you guys on the next spiritual vlog. I love you, I adore you, and I can't wait for the next topic that Maria presents, because this one was a lot of fun to dive deep into, and I really hope that it helped you on your path into this grand adventure of Earth and life. Bye now.